But what they say is, I'm embarrassed that I have to be on this. I'm embarrassed I hooked it. No, you were lied to. Because not once was I told by the doctors that these are addictive. Now, if that was mentioned to me, that's on me. Okay, I get that one. I'm not getting mad, but this is kind of what gets me upset. It's like, it was never mentioned once, and my wife is in the room. Was it mentioned?
No.
You.
Welcome to the Bacon, Bibles, and Barbells podcast. I'm Coach Justin. I'm joined by Coach Amanda and her husband, Anthony. Anthony was on the show, I think, years ago. It's been quite a while. We tried to have him on a couple times in the last couple of years, but he kind of like chickened out and stuff. We wanted to get him ranting on a couple things. So
I do that time to time.
We tried to. You wanted to get on for a you were going to cover some conspiracy theory or something for fun. I think a couple years ago, and you're like, no, I don't want to do it now. But yeah, so we have him on. Actually, probably for the most important, a crucial thing that we could really cover with him is his journey with antidepressants and testosterone replacement, and then lifestyle changes and everything else, and kind of where he is today. We want to go through that whole journey, how it started. But before we do that, we'll do what we usually do, talk about our training and what we're doing. So I'll be really quick. I still have a pinched nerve. My left side's pretty weak. It's getting better, but I've just got a lot of tightness in my upper back, and I'm still dealing with that stuff. It's August now, so I'm barely going to be training. It's practically a month off. I'm going to go on vacation for a couple weeks. So that's pretty much it, just maintaining weight. Don't really anticipate much change other than I'll probably lose all my conditioning and be super sore when I get back to it in September. So Amanda, how about you? Have you picked a show yet?
I have not picked a show yet. I did finally get a new phone this week, so I'm actually able to track my workouts and use my meal tracking again, which I didn't have last week.
Yeah.
The training, pretty much just the same as it's been going. Today, we actually got to go to a deadlift seminar. The owner of our gym has been doing these every Saturday where he picks a different movement and coaches through it. And even though I'm a coach myself, I love being part of hearing from somebody who's got decades of experience and has worked with some of the biggest names out there. And I learn more every single time from that. So it was great getting to do some different drills and things like that today. So I think we're going to make that part of our Saturdays is being part of the seminars that he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Anthony, how about you? What are you up to in training?
I am doing a strongman competition in Waco, my first one in 2 years since we moved, because we're moving. So September 27th, I'll do there's going to be a Masters Nationals here, but since I didn't compete all year because of moving and stuff like that, I have to do the amateur, which I'm okay with that. The bum part is it's like the Nationals Pro competition is going to be in my hometown. It's not going to happen again. So I can't compete on that stage, but at least I can be there and do the same competition, meet some people, and actually do it'll be my first strongman, I think, in a year. And I've done okay before. I always get my second, but I've never done it with having, proper hormones and proper, that's going to be, I'm kind of really excited to see what getting that dialed in for the first time in my life is going to look like. So it's right now Amanda's got me on more event style training and less just practical strength because she puts my program. So she's right now everything she does for me is like event.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the way to do strongman. Yeah. The closer you get to a show, the more specific to the show you are, and you just start dropping everything off. Especially you have to a strongman too, because once you start getting up to comp weights, you're too beat up to be doing all the other bodybuilding stuff.
Oh yeah.
Things like that. I hope to get back next year. It's been 2 years already since my last strongman show. So I hope next year I can return, especially after how bad the last one went. I fell off podium on the biggest pro-am show on the West Coast. So due to my Airbnb sucking. Yeah. Well,
that's right. That was the 2 day one.
It's a 2 day show. And it's always a 2 day show. It's like the biggest pro-am show on the West Coast. I finished day one in a very strong third place, and felt like I was contention for second place, and got like 2 hours of sleep that night because of because of how crappy my Airbnb was, basically. So it was rough. And so I grossly underperformed on day two, except for stones. I still beat everyone on stones, or tied with I even tied with the heavyweights. I lifted the heaviest stone of the day, along with a couple of heavyweights and one other guy in my class, but because I'm good at stones. But everything else, I just did terrible. So I'd like to redeem myself and actually be on that podium sometime.
When you said fell off the podium, I had a mental picture of like, I won, but like on the podium, and then I fell off. And I said, yeah, this kind of takes the whole victory out. I was like,
metaphorically speaking.
It took me a second to realize. I just pictured you like, get your trophy, then put it on your neck, and all of a sudden, plop. That's what I pictured at that. I don't think that's what he means. But if he did, that would be awesome. And I want video of that.
Yeah, no, there's just video of me zeroing out the log and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Which is a weight I'd hit easily in training. I mean, not easily, it's heavy, but yeah, I'd hit 285 multiple times. 285.
285. Okay. Yeah, I'm relying on my deadlift for this competition because it's going to be like, I think it's 2 frame deadlifts, two regular deadlifts, 2 frame deadlifts, and then 2 wagon wheel deadlifts.
Oh, so it's like a deadlift show practically.
Well, that's one event.
That's just one medley.
Oh, it's a medley. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a deadlift medley, but I'm thinking, I'm a good deadlifter, but I'm also there's a lot of guys who can lift more deadlifts than me, like more weight. Yeah. I'm also knowing I've worked out with them. But when I work rep with other people, I'm always either keeping up with the guys who are stronger and bigger, or beating them. So I'm thinking that's going to be my advantage.
So you got it for reps. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of the opposite with deadlift. I'm decent for lower volume, but high volume, yeah, it's not so much, I guess, for me. I mean, I guess that last show I did, they had a trap bar deadlift, and I tied for second, I think. But trap bar is not normal deadlift, so like I'm really good at trap bar and frame deadlift, which they shouldn't even call it frame deadlift. They should call it like frame squat, because it's not even like it's mostly quads, and that's why I did so well.
Almost like a leg press.
We saw that one guy. Can I say his name? Who broke the record, or Texas record, or national record of trap bar deadlift. Matt Barba. I was at a competition helping out, and Matt Barba was there to set I think it was national trap bar deadlift. I think he got like 1,100.
It was over 11. Yeah,
over 1,100 pounds. Yeah, and that made me think of the trap, because his, like, when he walked in, his legs look like tree trunks. See a lot of those guys deadlift, regular bar deadlift, they're longer, leaner, but this guy walks up looking like just tree trunk legs, and I was like, that's what. And then when you said that,
made me think, power lifter.
He looked like a power lifter, and that's why he went for the trap bar deadlift world. I don't know what was national or I can't remember. Probably
it was state or national, but I want to say national.
I want to say national, but either way, like he was built not like a regular deadlifter, and I was like watching it. Of course, I was helping him load the plates, going just blown away just watching him do it. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'd really like to see what I could work up to on that, because I'm good at that movement. And a few years ago I did a show, and there was a frame deadlift, and it was a fairly high pick. I think it was like 19 inches or something like that, and I didn't even have access to a trap bar at the time, so I didn't train it at all, and I pulled 810, and I was like, oh, maybe I could be good at this. So I'd love to see what could happen if I like actually trained for it, and I was lighter back then too. But one of the super heavyweight guys pulled like 1,060 that day, I want to say. It was just nuts to watch. Yeah. Yeah, cool. So let's get to our topic. Sure. So this kind of came up organically in discussion I think we're having. And by way of introduction, Anthony's coming off of antidepressants after having been on them for a very long time. So what we'd like to do is sort of talk through your journey, like how you started antidepressants, what that conversation was like with the doctor, and what led you to ask the questions that you did that sort of led to that whole thing. So can you maybe start with when did you suspect like, hey, something's wrong? I should have a conversation with my doctor. What were the things that led you to that?
So I've always been healthy, not always, but since I'd say 2016 maybe.
Probably right before we were getting married.
It was when I
got into working out, but
no, I'm saying
when you started the antidepressants.
Yeah, okay.
Probably about 10 years ago.
Okay, so about 10 years ago, lost a job, had a really hard time with it. There was real reasons to have mental health problems when you lose the job. That was my world. My identity, my career was gone. Couldn't support my family anymore. I had no college degree. I had no backup plan. Put all my eggs in one basket. It was gone. So obviously I had mental health issues because of that. Just like anyone should.
Yeah.
Started getting angry about things, started not be able to control my emotions. First thing you do is you start Googling things and you start reading things. And if you Google depression, anxiety, it's not hard to find on the internet. And then these are normal things that normal people experience when normal bad things happen. So you read the internet and they go, you got it. Like almost if you read it, I'm sure if anyone else has been there, you read it like you caught the flu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's me. I caught it. I must have got the anxiety bug from, I was rubbing shoulders with someone with anxiety coughed on me and I caught it. It almost reads like that on the internet. You go and then you read it. You go to the doctor. You set up an appointment with the doctor, and I won't name names, but we picked our doctor because at the time we're politically conservative, but we aligned more with the lefty way of medicine.
It used to be crunchy.
Crunchy
used to be on the left.
Yes, crunchy used to be on the left. Now it's not.
Explain that was lefties that had chickens in their backyards. Yeah.
Yeah. So our doctor was definitely a lefty. Like, and I wanted that. I don't agree with
the
push
antibiotics. And
she was like, that's what I wanted. So I went to her. One meeting, I think I said that. I think if I'm wrong, I know it was one day. I think I said it within a week. Went in there. I said, I think I have anxiety. Not a pushback. No questions. We went through a checklist, but the checklist looked like the one I just self-diagnosed on the internet. So
on WebMD.
Yeah.
That was like peak WebMD, right?
Right. So I said yes. Do you get anxious on a scale of 1 to 10? Now looking back, what does that mean? What do you mean? What is a 10 anxious? Like, you check it off. So she goes, okay, we'll start you on 10 milligrams of Paxil.
Mm-hmm.
So I started taking milligrams of Paxil, and I think immediately I started feeling better.
Yeah, well, I can also jump in and add one of the biggest symptoms that caused us to make that appointment was he wasn't sleeping. And when you don't sleep for long enough, you start to go a little crazy. And it was like, we have to find something for you to go to sleep. Like he was getting up to 10 milligrams of melatonin, which is ridiculously high, and still waking up. So
is it? A few years ago, I did an experiment, and I worked up to 50.
Oh my goodness!
Pass.
I would never wake up.
If I want to wake up,
that's one of the biggest reasons we went is because
I say
we needed to get him to sleep.
Usually 1 to 3 milligrams is all you should.
I'll do one right now. I'll do one. Mm-hmm. So I went to So I went to the doctor, threw the 10 in me. Not even really much check. There was not there was no blood work. There was no, because I think I've been working with, my job is I work with special needs kids for a living. And the one thing I've always been confused on as a job is like things like, ADHDs and autism. There's not really a check for these things. It's just, you say you got it, you get the thing, and there's no really brain. But they say with anxiety, you have a chemical that's not right in your head. So I must, okay. Then says, but there's no way to check that. You just took that for granted and said, well, I must have a chemical not right in my head. So I think I took 10 for not that long, maybe a month, maybe 2, maybe 3. I can't remember.
It helped a little bit, not all the way.
Yeah. I was like, you know what would be better?
More.
20 or 50, whatever. And I went in there one appointment the next time. She said, how's it going? Good. I think I want more. Didn't even question it. Just goes, done. All right. A couple months later, I'm like, you know what? I feel I'm struggling to sleep. I still feel like I'm not feeling right. Hey, I'm not really feeling right. 30, done. Never once was anything checked. Never once was anything looked at. It was just done. So I went with 30. What's that?
No blood work.
No blood work ever. So I went for 30 for a long time. long time, and never had. So I think the misconception they go is, well, do you feel better? Well, I didn't feel anything, but I felt better. Yeah. But I saw pictures of myself, and I started looking disgusting. My belly was hanging out, my face was swollen, But so in this entire time, I was tracking my food, trying to sleep hard, training hard, taking my recovery, minimum alcohol. Doing the normal, every person's healthy lifestyle. Everyone around me is getting jacked and juiced and looking good and getting stronger. I'm like, I'm just not. Yeah. This doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So that started being concerned. I didn't make the connection. Yeah. And then a study came out a couple of years ago. Not a study. They released an information. I'm sure you guys can find it that said, there was no such thing as brain chemistry off.
Basically, SSRIs don't work the way that we thought they did this whole time. You may remember that study that came out.
I do remember
recently.
Yeah.
I read that in my deep years into my 30 milligrams and went, wait a minute, what? Wait, what? And my first thought wasn't, they're lying. That's conspiracies, I really have a problem. Most people go, no. I really have a problem. This science can't be wrong. No, I understood the science pretty well. There's just things I studied in college. No, it's true. That does make sense, and that is more logical than chemistry in your brain being off. So I was like, well, that's true. So obviously addicted to this drug, but it didn't change my life. Like I was still living my life, just wasn't getting healthier. So I thought, well, I'm not going to worry about it. And then I went for Christmas a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think 2 years ago.
And we're in the valley, McAllen, which is about 7 hours. We came to Georgetown with my parents and stayed for a couple of days. And we forgot my Paxil. Whew. So I had 3 days without it. And and people don't realize how much your body depends on that stuff. So I had to go I went from a 30 to a 0 within 3 days. Yeah. I had to drive all the way back to McAllen on 30. I couldn't get a bed, but I was staying on an air mattress. I laid on the floor for probably 2 days straight. Couldn't talk to anybody. I was just
he was like sweating, twitching. It looked like real drug withdrawals because it is.
Wow. It was. So I couldn't see right. I couldn't finish. I couldn't talk. It felt like the feeling felt like you're being electrocuted slightly all the time. Yeah. And everything I look at was slow. Everything would just.
It's like your eyes didn't focus right.
Couldn't do it. I couldn't have a conversation. And so it was just, it was a drug withdrawal. And I've never been on, I never was a drug guy, so I don't know what that's like. But that's what, if you ever read drug withdrawal, that's it. It's horrible. It's an awful feeling. As soon as I got back, I took that 30 and went, just immediately my body went.
So so at that point, you've been taking it for like 8 years. You had no idea that you were so dependent on it.
Right. Didn't know. Exactly. And so this made me go, this made me dive deeper. Because first I thought, when I first read that the brain chemistry is not true, I thought, well, I believe that, but it's helping. So I'll just go along with that. Yeah. And then that 3 days off made me go, I remember the first thing, I took the pill. We didn't talk about it for those 3 days because I couldn't speak.
At least not clearly.
Not clearly. No one understood what I was saying. Wow. My parents, I was visiting my parents and I could tell they were like, this is weird. This is my son. I was kind of embarrassed. I was like, my parents probably
We even went to an urgent care to see if they could give us just a couple days of prescription. And they were like, no, we have to call in the psychiatrist and it's Christmas and blah, blah, blah. And so
I'm sitting in the emergency room, literally just going,
just deal with it.
Just shaking and I couldn't even walk. And so she's helping me walk me in. She's kind of sitting me down. She had to help me get from the car to the, I remember you had to help me get from off the floor because I was on the floor for 2 days. I get up and eat, but I couldn't eat. Then you'd help me to the car. You helped me from the car to the urgent care, and then help me back. And then so that was the only traveling. Then after that, we couldn't get it, so I had to travel. Yeah, Amanda drove home because I couldn't drive. Yeah, we had to drive home.
That was a hard drive.
I had to be 7 hours silence. No one could talk. Oh yeah, I was like, we just asked the kids, he's not talking. Anthony, Dad can't. Dad's gonna lose. He's falling apart, and every sound would just make me want to vomit. Literally vomit. Wow! I heard someone talk in the car.
So just any sensory input, basically.
Yeah,
which was very hard to have a 3-year-old at the time be quiet in a car ride.
Because if you look at what they do, is they are sensory dampening drugs. That's what they do.
Yeah. The net effect is everything you feel, good, bad, or otherwise, all input is turned down.
Right.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden everything's cranked up, and it's like distortion on a speaker.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. And as soon as I took that 30, I think within pretty much within an hour, I was back to normal. And then that night, I think we sat in the back porch, and I said, "This is going to have to change. This is going to have to get off." And
don't immediately stop it.
That's what they said.
There wasn't really a reason why.
Good advice.
Yeah.
But you don't know that. But when you're taking this drug or this, let's say, medicine or whatever they call it, you don't know what that means. No. You don't, that's like, you don't know that
they
it's
tell
more
you about
addictive
that
than
with like pretty much every medication though. Like if you take blood pressure medication and you'll be like, oh, I guess I shouldn't just stop because my blood pressure will go back up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's very casual.
Yeah. But talk about what that might actually do to you if you were to skip a couple days.
No one ever told me.
Wow.
So that was my first experience with detox, which I didn't, obviously we immediately put me back on the 30 and decided to make a plan as a family, like a very organized plan, how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And how we're going to, what steps we're going to take. We did some research, what it's going to look like, that's kind of why the biggest reason why I'm here is like, this is what it looks like. This is how you have to do it. Mm-hmm. I switched doctors.
Yeah. First of all. Yeah.
Not at first. First we said, I think we decided to wait because we wanted to wait.
This was like post-COVID, but COVID was still pretty fresh, and we didn't really want to dive into the medical industry at that point in time. So we were just like, let's just keep it as is for a little longer. We'll look around, find somebody. We did find a PA through our homeschool group who was homeschooling his kids with us. I knew his wife. And I was like, you know what? I already know these people. I like these people. Let's try him. And he was great.
Great.
He heard us out, gave us a plan to follow, like how to drop the dosage, how long to do it, what to expect. And he ran a full blood panel.
First time.
Including hormones, which was the first time that had ever been done.
Did he check serotonin and dopamine, cortisol, any of those too, or no?
Cortisol, yes. And then, of course, all the sex hormones.
Yeah.
And all the regular ones that you get whenever you have a physical.
He was a full, he ran everything down.
Yeah.
But we had been kind of researching our own, and we kind of suspected by like all the symptoms. I'll say it. Is it okay? Like the final symptoms of low testosterone, where how it affects the male. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It got to that point.
That's the last thing to go, basically.
Right.
And a lot of I want to. We've said this before. But I want to say it again for everyone listening. The last thing to go is sexual function when you're low in testosterone as a man. You can have full function sexually until the very end, and that's when you know you're extremely low. Everyone, and if you talk to most doctors and say, "Doc, can you have my testosterone checked? I kind of want to see, and I suspect this or that." The first thing they ask you typically is, "You have erectile dysfunction? Or anything like that?" No, everything's. Oh, you don't need it. You're fine.
Well,
here's an antidepressant for how you feel, and that is that's the last thing that goes. You can have function until you are really, really low. Everything works okay.
Works stuff, not okay, but it functions. Yeah.
It works okay. Yeah, I mean, frequency reduces, quality reduces, everything. Of course,
right. Like your body will have you're not gonna. I mean, before I say the number, like your body will tell you when you're low, and there's other things. This, like you said, the last thing is that. But when that went, I went okay. Because the reason, I'll say this: the reason I didn't want to do the testosterone route is because whenever something's trendy, I assume it's trendy, and everyone's doing it because it's cool.
Yeah,
and it's not like kind of like
maybe not necessary.
Okay, for a perfect example, I thought when I mentioned this to testosterone, I said it's kind of like the gluten thing. Everyone's gluten intolerant now, but no one's really gluten intolerant, but they all say they are.
Yeah.
So I said I don't want to be this person who assumes I'm low T because it's cool to be low T now and get testosterone shots.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm not going to fall for that new gimmicky thing.
Yeah.
But when that last thing happened, which you just said is the sexual function, I said, actually, I think this is legit. I think I really am under this qualification, and maybe it's not trendy. Maybe something's not just trendy because it's cool. Maybe something's trendy because it's actually working and people are starting to get the help they need. So that was my okay. So I went to the doctor and I said, I want to get off SSRIs and I want to get my blood checked. Kind of suspicious. So when it came back, I looked at the range was like, I think it was 300 to 900 was a typical range.
Different clinics give different ranges, but
I just Googled it. Like I knew like that enough. Yeah. But I listened to y'all's show and talked to Dr. Grant and he gave different numbers and I said, that's probably, but either way, you can kind of say, if you're just talking to a normal guy, that's a pretty good way to start, I guess.
Yeah.
66.
Yeah.
That was your testosterone number. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you could tell, look on his face, he's like, he kind of asked, like, do you want to consider TRT? Yeah. I was like,
for reference on how low that actually is, my number as a woman was 57. Like I was almost beating him.
Yeah.
That's
incredibly
less
low.
than 10 away.
Yeah. And did you test your SHBG? Do you know?
Yes.
Do you remember what it was?
I don't remember the number on that.
Yeah.
But I remember it being tested.
Because it's very possible with that low testosterone, your free test was like 1 or 2. And like
it's possible.
I thought it was 3, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I think I remember the 3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like when I started,
what's normal
got
for
on, I had really low SHBG, so I was getting more free as far as my ratios go. But I was like 275. So my free was like 7 or something like that. And for reference, the ranges will tell you like, oh, anything between 5 and up to 30 at the highest is fine. Usually don't go as high as 30. Typically, for a man to feel good when we get on testosterone replacement, you need to be over 30. Like somewhere in the 30s is where you start being like
that's the free
for free. Yeah,
okay.
That's typically what we recognize. I'm generalizing. But typically when you get at least just above 30, that's when it's like, okay, I'm good. I'm getting all the benefit mentally that I need out of this and otherwise, basically. So when you have a 10th of that, it's life sucks. That's female levels of testosterone.
It's female levels. And yes, I've heard all the jokes. All my buddies were making all the jokes. Made the jokes.
Transition party whenever he started the TRT.
We did. No. I was not embarrassed to say it.
Yeah.
All my friends were like, "You're becoming a man." I said,
"Yeah."
And I told him, "You know what? I've been lower. I'm 66, still more manly than you guys. So what does it say about y'all guys?"
Yeah, my deadlift is still bigger.
Second place in strongman competitions.
Still second strongest masters in the valley.
He was getting second place in strongman competitions with a 66. Like that's just pure grit and stubbornness.
Yeah.
So I got the grit to be a strong man. I just didn't have the hormones. And then another thing they don't say, which I did learn this going into it, because when I was researching the testosterone part, seeing it and trying to come to the realization that's probably the problem before I took the test. Do you know what SSRIs do lower in men? Testosterone.
Yeah. And women too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, but so my thought was like, so my immediate thought when I read that and got my 66 back, you didn't check so all the symptoms of anxiety and low testosterone are the same. So I go into your clinic. This is the part I want people to know about when you're diagnosed. You go into the clinic and they don't test you. The symptoms for low T are the same pretty much for anxiety.
Yeah.
And they say, but the only difference is testosterone is cheap, easy, and works.
And there's no patent on it.
Right. Cheap and easy. SSRIs, dangerous, expensive, and they throw those like candy. So I had a friend that wanted to take testosterone, and the doctor said, "Oh, it's too aggressive. You shouldn't take it." That's nuts. That's nuts.
Yeah. And
so you didn't check something that was probably obviously like I wouldn't have known that testosterone. I wouldn't have thought of that. I didn't study this stuff yet. I didn't start getting dorky, and I didn't go deep into the dark forest about this stuff at the time. I just trusted the doctor that knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't feel any guilt talking about it, because like, I didn't know. Now, if I knew what I was doing, okay, yeah, I'd be a little embarrassed. I didn't.
Yeah.
I was lied to.
Yeah.
So they did not check for that. They threw me on a drug that would lower, that would say, if the symptoms come in, that was probably low testosterone, because there's no such thing as brain chemistry thing, but you assume the thing that you know is not true by proof. The science know that. That. You're going to give a drug that is actually going to worsen the symptoms and actually make your already low testosterone lower. When you're talking 66, I told my wife when I got home that day, I was like, Teresa, we didn't catch this. You would not have me as long as if we did. That's
life shortening.
That is criminal. It's criminal to me. So the medical industry does not care. I don't want to speak in general, but I will, but forgive me. And you guys can translate that. But this is don't care.
What you're saying is true of most primary care providers, because that's the experience you had is representative of the average.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I met this guy. He got me on testosterone. The same day he got me on testosterone, he called in a new prescription for my Paxil prescription at a lower dose. Mm-hmm. So right away, I said the same day we started T, I started lowering it from 30
to 20.
To 30 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was the first time. So right away. So I was thinking, man, Paxil's going to go down. My testosterone will go up just because of that. I'll start feeling better. But I have testosterone, so it's going to go up even higher. I'm going to feel like no side effects. Wrong. Wrong. Again, you're talking about a mind-altering chemical drug.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. The body started feeling better because the testosterone got where it was supposed to.
Pause right there for a second.
Sure.
You said that someone went to the doctor of someone you knew, and they said, and when they brought up testosterone, the doctor was like, "Oh wait, way too powerful. Like that's way too much." A doctor that would likely freely prescribe an SSRI, which is as potent as you're talking about. That's significant.
In that instance, it was due to being on another medication, and the doctor said, "We know that medication lowers testosterone, so I don't need to test it. Plus, testosterone makes you aggressive."
Yeah, aggressive was the term I heard. Yeah.
I said, "Fire that doctor."
One of the symptoms of low testosterone is irritability. And
right. Which they call that. No, that's anxiety. Remember? You got to talk that's anxiety, not low T.
Yeah, of course.
So
there's a study that was done in Germany. This is I think over 10 years ago now. I remember reading it shortly after it came out, where they put men on, and it's crazy that this was like approved to be done, knowing what we know about how the medical industry is about testosterone. They put men on various doses of testosterone. There were some men that were on 100 milligrams a week. There were some men that were on, I believe it was 200, and some, I think it was 600 a week. And it was a 6-month study even, because they wanted to see it was a fairly long term for, as these studies go. They did a bunch of behavioral tests of all the men. It was mostly behavioral oriented, not nothing to do with the physical. And the men, the higher the dose of testosterone, the more characteristically the men would be giving, benevolent, and patient. They even had and by the way, they didn't know how much their dose was. They didn't know if they were high dose, because they didn't have a reference. Nobody knew.
That's a good way of doing it.
Yeah. Yes, they had no idea. And so they actually did these games where they would have a man that had high versus low, or two men with the same dose. They had they would have them interact, and they would have I can't remember precisely what the game was, but basically it was a negotiation. They had to negotiate. It would be like negotiating a price for something, or something along those lines. And they noticed that in order to get what they wanted, the men with higher testosterone were more willing to give in to get what they wanted. And the men on lower doses were more likely to sort of like stand their ground and not cooperate. So you want to know what low testosterone does to a society? Makes people less likely to work together.
That's true.
Huh.
That doesn't sound like violent, aggressive behavior.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. That is evidence in my life. I've done both. So yeah, I can agree. Now I'm at a healthy level, and I'm a lot. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. My name is Justin Johnson with High Calling Fitness. Maybe you're tired, gaining weight, waking up with joint pain, back pain, and a body that just doesn't feel like it used to. You've tried to fix it, but nothing seems to last. What if you don't need another app or crash diet, but a real coach, someone to meet you where you're at and walk with you step by step? At High Calling Fitness, our coaching comes to you wherever you are. No matter where you live, small town or city, across the country or across the world, your health still matters. You don't have to go it alone. We build personalized plans based on your goals, your schedule, and your equipment, even if it's just a set of dumbbells in a small space. This isn't just training, it's a personal partnership. You'll get weekly updates, one-on-one access to your coach, and ongoing support through Zoom and Slack every step of the way. We're here to help you build strength, restore energy, and claim the life you were meant to live. Book a free consult today. Let's talk about your goals and see how we can build something better together. High Calling Fitness, built for the everyday, ready for the extraordinary. Have you found yourself just more calm and easier to deal with stress and other things like that?
Are you talking about the T, or are you talking about the SSRI lowering?
The testosterone. It's trying to separate.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That part. Yeah, that part for sure. Well, gym's better.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean that's. Yeah, but again, I'm still on the SSRIs at the moment. I'm just at a super low dose.
Yeah,
it takes the mistake people make is So you're kind of like, you have this. I don't know if you can see, anyone can see it. It's going to be audio, or whatever. But if you have a high level of one pill and you're slowly swapping them out, like it's going to balance each other out after a while. So I'm going down on something that's causing problems, and I'm going up on something making it better. So it's kind of this crossing line of which is the one that's making it. So I guess I'd have a hard time answering that because I decided to do both at the same time. Yeah. And you could say, the scientist in you says you should only do one thing because but you're on opposite emergencies.
Well, there's reasons why it could be because we understand both these drugs pretty well. Although I'm hesitant to call testosterone a drug, frankly, but we understand them so well. Doing them both at the same time can make sense because it can mask the challenge of coming off the SSRI.
It does a little bit. That's true. Mm-hmm. But the thing that coming off, I think the misconception is, I think if you wanted to talk about the process of coming off is different than what you think. It's not a, how do you say it?
Things are coming back online, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
The sensory can be a little overwhelming. Of course, not as much as if you go straight to cold turkey quitting it.
Yeah. And so what you want to do is you go down a little bit. I think you half it. You always half it. That's what I've been recommended. Mm-hmm. And when you first half it, that first week is a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. But if I would advise anyone, if you're going to do it, put it on your calendar before you even know. If you know you're going to decrease, put it on your calendar ahead of time. Right up. Pick a week that you're going to be off work. Pick a low stress season. Pick a week. Tell your wife and tell your kids. Tell everyone what you're doing. Don't hide it from anyone because it's a really bad idea. Because everyone's like, I don't want people to know. But it's going to be obvious. Yeah. You're going to be withdrawing, and you need to know that you're doing that. So I would put it on my calendar. Okay, in 2 months, I'm dropping down. Yeah, and I would take that. I would do it at the beginning of the week. I knew it was going to be I knew the week was going to be empty, vacation, low stress. Yeah. Wouldn't agree to do anything fun. Or agree to only do fun things. Yeah. Things like that. So so it's not like you're slowly going off. It's like you go, boom, you drop, and then you kind of stay for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Boom, drop, you stay a little bit. So you're kind of doing it in like little chunks. Yeah. If that makes any sense. And I just got off the last drop a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm. Just from 20 to 10. So.
Yeah. Okay.
That was kind of a rough one.
That was they say it's the roughest.
When you go from 30 to 20, you're dropping a third of it. Yeah. Then when you go from 20 to 10, that's half. That's a bigger percentage drop that you're going. And so it's kind of rough. But what I would encourage, along with saying to people who are close to you, this is what you're doing, so you can have support, is also continue to remind yourself. So there's paranoia thoughts you can have. Woo! And if you're like, okay, I know this is because of sort of withdrawing from this, these are not real, actually vocalize what you're thinking to your spouse or whoever you're close to, saying, this is what I'm thinking. I also know it's not real. Can you confirm this? Like, having that assurance helps a little bit when you're dropping down.
And it's you're at a battle with your brain during the detox, during the cut downs, because your brain is telling you things that are not true. They're absolutely lying to you. That doesn't make any sense. Well, that's how that works, because you just turned your brain off and you just activated a part of it back that wasn't there. So you are going to have things that you did not, paranoid thoughts, angry thoughts. Dude, you're going to cry on it. You're going to cry. I just promise you, you're not going to sleep for a couple of days, and you need to set that in your mind. All right. When people like us, we get really for fitness, and you have a bad sleep cycle and a couple of weeks of sleep, and you feel like your workout was a waste of time.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, I'm not going to get stronger because it stinks. So what you need to do is what's that?
Yeah, it stinks. I've had a lot of trouble with sleep. Yeah. It's horrible.
So so you go into the detox knowing, okay, this is not the week I'm going to get stronger. This is not the week I'm going to improve my diet. This is not the week I'm going to get
more sore. Yeah. Everything's going to be heavy.
But go to the gym, do your normal routine, best you can.
Yeah.
But you're not going to make progress in what you want to do. Another thing, because your goal of that week is to detox.
Yeah.
That is it. Keep it simple. Don't complicate your life. I think I slept probably about 4 or 5 hours a night during that week. I think it's probably about right?
Yeah.
Sometimes less. But I was tired a lot. I've lived on caffeine, but I was like, you know what? It's really bad to skip sleep and go caffeine. But my goal was to get through that cycle that drop. So keep the goal the goal. Yeah. And don't let other things become your new goal. Like, I'm going to hit a PR. No.
It's not that.
No, don't do that.
Not time.
It's not time for that. It's not time for that.
It's also really important to have an established routine before you start dropping the dose, because then having that routine is really going to save you when you're going through that detox week.
And you're going to want to fight. And that's the thing. I think the reason that the spouse, maybe I'll speak this way. Maybe you can. Your spouse needs to know that you're going to want to fight with them. You will. I promise. You will. You're going to want to pick fights. Why? Because you're paranoid. You're angry. And in the middle of me picking a fight, man would just go, "Do you really want to fight, or is this something else?" I go, "I do, but I know I don't. I will stop. I'm really mad. I want to keep going."
Detoxing Anthony wants to fight. Rational Anthony knows he shouldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly. It's a joke,
like,
but it's true.
But it's true.
Yeah. No. I want to kind of step back on, because I think this is really salient at the moment. You mentioned the whole there's nothing chemically wrong with the brain, blah 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 blah. Well, yes and no. Yes, there's chemically wrong things with the brain sometimes.
Sure.
But you don't have an SSRI deficiency.
No.
That's never the case.
No.
Right.
But you do when you're coming off.
Exactly.
Is not something chemically wrong with your brain when you stop a drug like that for a while? And if all the people that have suffered through it understand, that is a chemical imbalance. You want to say there's no chemical imbalances in the brain? Sometimes there can be, and often
there is. Then
they're man-made. And I think there's a lot of nuance that we could bring on that statement too. You, if anything, had a testosterone deficiency. That was a chemical imbalance. But there's no evidence that anyone has ever had an SSRI deficiency, because it's not something the brain's dependent on.
Right. I mean, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, that's the name of the thing, but that's not how it works.
That's not even what it does.
It's just not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It was based, just on a theory.
And it was a theory. And all that we can really say for sure that it does is it increases serotonin.
It can even lead to serotonin syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is some scary stuff.
It is. But that's all we can really say about it. As far as what it's really doing, we don't actually know. And they've been around for decades. And I'm not saying just because you don't know what it does, it means you should never try it, because that's silly. But in this case, it doesn't do what we think it does, or we thought it did. And all we know is it raises serotonin. And we know the consequences of raising serotonin are it blunts all your responses to everything. The good, the bad, everything. Ups, downs,
right.
Any experience in life, it's going to just reduce how much you feel it. That's all we know.
Very
that
numbing.
It does. Yeah, it's numbing. Yeah, it's mind numbing. And I think that, especially to the Christian audience out there, we speak against abusing whatever alcohol because for the purpose of numbing your mind, or anything like that, pot or something, like for the abuse, for the purpose of escaping reality and things like that. But I know that there's a lot of people in the church that are on SSRIs that attend churches. I mean, especially women, they're just so prevalent. And that is exactly what it's doing to you. It is having that same effect. It is dulling your experience of life. Again, the highs and the lows, the good moments with your children, the memories, you won't experience them as much. The bad, you won't experience that as much either. But is that the life you want to live? And is it addressing what the problem is? This is masking some other problem that you really have. And it's a real problem.
Yeah. I think
it's not to say that you're not experiencing a real problem. Like Anthony, like you described, you felt horrible. Like
I lost my job.
Yeah.
I had a problem.
You had exactly. You felt terrible. And so to say this is not to deny those people that feel terrible. It's not to say you don't feel terrible. You do feel terrible. If you say you feel terrible, I believe you.
I believe you.
Yeah. I believe that you feel terrible.
You made that connection about the study and the hard work and stuff like that. So if I am losing a job and I'm already experiencing low testosterone, my drive to get better is going to be dampened. So I'm going to naturally want to go, hey, I want a shortcut because I'm lazy, whatever the symptoms of low T are the problem. And I think I mentioned before to you, I think earlier before we recorded that, now I have suspicions of what causes the low testosterone since I was childhood.
Yeah.
Could I prove it's true? I probably can't, but I can connect dots and go, those dots make more sense than anything else.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I had Guillain-Barré, which was a typical, if anyone knows it, Guillain-Barré. It's very kind of common in teenage girls who have anorexia. That's where it comes from. Basically, your muscles completely go away. When I was 4 years old, I had to be in a wheelchair. I think I lost. Correct me if I'm right. I think
it was close to 10% of your muscle mass.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Wow. Overnight. It was gone. So my dad would have me.
Like you used to be a husky kid and you were a lanky kid when
my dad would get me toys like this, and I couldn't just like that.
Yeah.
You can't see it, little transformers. I would sit there and I couldn't do them. So that was how to work it back in. I got stubborn. I didn't want to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. When I was 5 years old, I went, nope, I'm going to fix it. So I got better. I worked hard, got better. But the point is, there's studies that are showing that if testosterone can suffer with low muscle mass in children. Well, losing 10% of your muscle mass from a virus, that seems like that would do the trick.
Yeah. When you become so weak that you can't manipulate your toys.
Right. Could that be part of it? Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
And I think it has a lot to do with it. I mean, that's another reason we don't do vaccines in our house for certain things, because if you have Guillain-Barré, you can't get the flu shot.
Essentially, what Guillain-Barré is your immune system attacks your nervous system. Okay, it views your nervous system as a threat. So things start shutting down, especially your motors, like all your motor skills, basically, just gone.
Yeah.
So that response happens again if you get a vaccine.
Right.
And he actually got the DTaP vaccine. Someone in our family was having a baby. We didn't have our opinion on vaccines at that time and asked us to get it. Sure, no problem. It was the most miserable 2 weeks of his life. Like it restarted that.
Yeah.
Sick again.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, and it is hard to say obviously what caused it. That's probably a good theory.
Yeah.
But when you get to the here and now, especially for anyone listening, knowing what it was in the past really doesn't matter. Right.
That's exactly. The only reason I bring that up is because I want to figure it out for myself.
Yeah.
But it's not going to change what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always want to know what caused it. You always want to know so you can, be prepared. Well, you can.
Especially if you have kids, you want to know
what could have
been.
What
you could do better.
What could I do better? Is there things I should be looking out in the head of time? And also sometimes you want to go, that really wasn't my fault.
It wasn't my fault. Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing about it. I also want to talk about it because a lot of people don't want to talk. Everyone wants to get off all SSRIs because everyone's figured out they're bad for you, but everyone feels like they're at fault for doing it. One, you don't know what caused it. It could have been something like Guillain-Barré could have been the cause of a low testosterone causing me to have symptoms that looked like anxiety and had to get on and thought I had to get SSRIs. That's not my fault. Yeah. And I'm not playing the blame game. Yeah. But I'm purposely not playing the blame game on myself because that doesn't make a difference. You didn't do something wrong by getting on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You may have. That's not true. But even if you did, you might not have known all the information ahead of time. You're not at fault for not knowing what's going on. You're not. The middle-aged mom at your church that doesn't know, you don't know. Yeah. Now you know. Do something about it. If you don't know, it's not something to be ashamed of. Right. Because if you go to Alcoholics Anonymous, you don't. One of the first things you do is you go and say, "I'm an alcoholic." Yeah. You have to admit there's a problem, and then otherwise, how do you get it better? During that week off when you're detoxing, you have to say, "I'm about to wean off a really crazy drug that's going to be embarrassing, mind altering, and I'm going to be a mess." Yeah. And then everyone around you has to be able to go, "Okay, I got you. Yeah. I'll sit through that with you." And you can do the cold plunges, the skin to skin that help. Those are things that help. Yeah. But ultimately, in the end, it's just you have to wait it out. Yeah. Just you got to wait, and I think that's what people. And that's where typically I think people go wrong is they do a drop and they go, "I can't have too much." Yeah, dude, it won't last forever.
You got to.
Thank you. That's the biggest hope that you can have is the way that you feel right now is not forever. This is temporary.
That's the message. Yeah, that's the message. I want people who are on it want to get off. It's going to be terrible. Yes, and temporary. Yes, extremely temporary. And I'm telling you right now, I'll tell everyone. Drop my headphone. So,
for him, he was. Let me turn it back on. Okay. For him, it was like he wanted to fight, but what he really wanted was a hug. So, I knew he was dealing with that. So I feel like he's, he wants to start arguing, and I just go and give him a hug, which is not really the time when you want to go give him a hug, but
no,
it made him go, thanks.
I said, I think in the middle of the fight, I said, "I want a hug," and she looked at me like I was crazy. That's embarrassing. No one. That's not tough. No, I want to smoke a cigar and pick up. No, I want a hug. Give me a hug and moved on.
I want to. I don't fight while I smoke a cigar.
Right. No,
let's go outside.
It's okay. Yeah. Exactly. And yeah, that's exactly how that's that pre-communicating what's going on before that week starts. And that's why you put it on your calendar. That's why you write it down.
And that's why you don't do it on a week when you're going through something that you plan it ahead, because it's not when you're committed to doing things that would make that week harder. Like if you have something don't do it for Thanksgiving.
No, terrible.
Terrible
idea.
Yeah. Don't do it during times when you're going to be around a bunch of people. Don't do it during times if you have a stressful work week or something going on with your kids or whatever those things are. Pick a quiet week. That's a transition week. But don't don't do it when you got stuff going on.
And I will say this. I'll say one last thing about the detox week, which I think is important. And I learned this is to quote The Dark Knight. I'm about to quote Batman. Well, it's actually never mind. The point is the line from Batman is always darkest before the dawn. That quote from Batman. Yeah, it is. It's not like it's not like it's bad. I think it's better. Yeah. For that week, it actually starts. It gets real bad. Levels for a couple days, you're going to feel not as bad. The first day's bad. Yeah. The second couple days, 75% bad. The last day before it's finally done is the worst.
Really?
You can't drive. I couldn't drive. I couldn't talk. I just sat on the couch and shivered and cried I watched Disney Channel and cried because it was a mess. Woke up the next day.
Should watch Dark Knight.
I wouldn't make it.
I guess I didn't experience it myself, obviously. He's the one detoxing, not me. But I guess that what I could say, it probably felt like, or it seemed to me, is that feeling when your fever is about to break.
Yeah.
It's the worst,
that,
right
the
then.
most intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it actually is. And I asked Amanda, I was like, do you have a fever?
He actually did have like a low-grade fever.
And so, but I woke up the next day and I was like, I mean, obviously it wasn't 100%, but I was like, I'm going to guess percentages on pain, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how it felt of the symptoms. Day 1 was probably a 7. The next couple of days were probably like a 5. Fourth day was probably like a 10, if there was be a 10, and then right after that it dropped down to a 2.
Wow.
And that 2.5, 1. So it's like hit hard, drops down to pretty rough, hits real hard, and then it goes real low. But it's still there, but it's manageable after that. Yeah. My experience is 5 days.
Yeah.
It's probably dose dependent or how long you've been on it. And
I was on for years,
all kinds of factors.
So I would think I would be a good subject for say 5 days. Pretty good. And it might be different. Everyone, it could be all about your body chemistry. So don't quote me on the 5 days. Just say, but I will say, it's like a fever. Real bad, pretty bad, real bad, better.
And it's followed a similar pattern every time you've lowered a dose.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm sure there's some individual variants. We're all different, but I think that because I've helped several people in the last couple of years even come off of SSRIs of various kinds. And that's pretty similar to what I've seen. Is when we step down, it's a rough week. It's a really rough week. And the middle to the latter part of the week is where sometimes people go back to the higher dose, and then we have to try again another time because they just they feel overwhelmed. That's the hardest part.
Yeah. But that's the encouragement. That would be my main message is that's when you have to keep going. That's the code. Yeah. Like once you're done with this dose, you don't
have to go back.
You don't have to go back.
Yeah.
Once you're lowered, because right now I'm at a 10. Instead of being like, well, I'm not off it yet. I went, you know what? I'm from 30 to 10.
Yeah.
I'm gonna comfortably, confidently take the 10 for a couple months and go, I did it. I did it.
Yeah.
I'm proud. I did it. And when I do it again, I'm like, all right, let's buckle up. Let's do this again.
Yeah.
Get to those 5 days. Whew, I did it.
Yeah.
I did it. I can do it again. And that's really that's the secret.
Yeah.
The secret cheat code to getting through it, I think.
Yeah, there are. I have done different things with some people that had a particularly hard time too. There are different ways you can do it. You can take smaller incremental doses down. It doesn't have to be cut in half necessarily. The other thing that I've done with people is actually done like I call it like almost a candy cane because you do the full dose one day and you do like a half dose the next day and you go back and forth for like a week or two because the half-life isn't that long, but half-lives don't really matter with these drugs because the duration of effect is very long. And so sometimes I've had people do that for like 2 weeks and then we stick with that lower dose and it can blunt how terrible that time is. But at the same time, you're going to experience the same amount of bad stuff. It's just It's just that you're spreading it out. So it won't be as intensely bad necessarily. But I think basically you're going to either way you experience the same amount of bad. If you could quantify, it's like if the bad was in a gallon jug, you're pouring it out slowly, or you can pour it out faster.
I don't recommend pouring the whole thing out.
No.
All at once.
I would advise against that one.
That's a great illustration.
Yeah, I just mean like
that is.
I mean like going from 10 to 20. You know, like if the suck was in a gallon of a gallon jug, you can pour it out in a week, or you can pour it out in 2 or 3 weeks. You're going to pour the same amount out.
Yeah.
Right, but just don't put. But with encourages, only you shouldn't do is put it back in the jug.
Yeah,
go backwards. Once you get to 10, whatever number you get to, celebrate it, enjoy the victory.
Yeah,
you go all right. Next round, but take your time. Do however you want to do it, but celebrate every time you make a jump down.
I wouldn't start dropping to the next lower dose right when you're finished. Detoxing from the one you just dropped. You need to stabilize for a little while.
Yeah, stabilize for a while and look for an opportune time again.
Right.
When life circumstances.
I'm off next week still for summer vacation. I can do it again. No, bad idea.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, exactly. Like find the next opportune time. Find the next opportune week where you can block off your calendar. You can have, you can create that environment that you need to support what you're doing. That'll be the big help there. I'd like I think we can talk through too some of the things that can mitigate some of the effects. It doesn't make it not suck. It just makes it suck less. There's three main, there's a few players. Now, this is presuming you're still training and your diet is still good, that you're still getting your protein in. Protein's the biggest thing. But honestly, carbs too. Keep fats low because carbs do promote dopamine signaling. And so you want
butter. Sorry.
That's a bunch of butter. Don't do that. Butter doesn't help your hormones. It's a joke because of all the stupid social media stuff around. Like some influencer recently said, every pound of meat you eat, you should have a stick of butter. That's just, one of the claims was that it helps your hormones. Actually, a high fat diet harms your hormones. Full stop. It's not negotiable.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't need a stick of butter. If you want to put some butter on your toast and your macros, it fits your macros, fine. That's great. But don't have a stick of butter ever for any reason.
I will say during that, and then I went to the gym during the week during those detox times. But man, if I wanted a freaking hamburger from McDonald's, I got it. I don't. It's not the goal right there. The goal is the drug.
Yeah,
I can correct my diet. Okay, now I'm off. Lord, all right, like today, we went out to eat a couple times because I was like, I don't want to cook. This is too stressful. The house is too stressful.
Yeah,
and I actually told her I don't want you to cook because watching you cook stresses me out. And I had to say that. I was like, that's a mean thing to say, but that was me being honest. Like I'm getting anxiety when you cook. Can you just eat out?
Because there's sound and a lot of movement, and it was just too much.
Yeah.
Go for walks.
So what? And one thing too to be aware, you want to be aware of foods that do make you feel crummy. Some place, something like could be a restaurant you like eating the food, but you just feel like junk after. So be aware of like any foods that make you feel crummy afterward, because it will make it worse. Yeah. But presuming that you have those things dialed in, and you're trying to get your sleep, you're probably not going to get all your sleep. Like like Anthony talked about, like. Some melatonin can help, but your sleep, even when you do sleep, the quality is going to be lower. Even if you get 8 hours, which great if you do. Some people may, but like maybe it's probably not going to be.
Your heart rate's probably going to be all over the place.
It's not going to be as restful.
Okay. That's okay.
You're going to wake up feeling more tired.
That's not your goal right now.
It is. Yeah, the goal is not good sleep. The goal is coming off a drug.
Right.
The main players that I like to use to help someone through this that are just supporting are cold plunges in the morning and sunlight exposure in the morning. Because what we want to do is get as much dopamine signaling to counteract the serotonin signaling that we're dealing with. And cold plunges elevate dopamine more than pretty much anything else. And I mean a full body cold plunge. Protecting your circadian rhythm is really important, and getting that sunlight does promote some dopamine as well. Training does as well. Like it's stimulating. It'll help wake you up, help keep you functional. Again, it's going to be sucky training. Your recovery is not going to be as good. You're not going to be as strong. That's okay. The point is that you just go work out, not really that you hit PRs or even continue to progress.
One thing I did this whole week, I actually added training days. Typically I do 4 days a week because I want to get ready. I want to
enough recovery.
Yeah. But I actually told him, man, this week I'm going to go every day.
Yeah.
It's not good for you. Yeah, but I need that.
Yeah.
That stimulation. I was like, and what?
It was a little lower intensity.
Oh yeah, I said, I need. As I told her one day, like, I need a back squat. I know I'm going to feel better if I put a barbell.
I would encourage people.
It's going to be it.
You might want to just dial back the intensity that week.
Yeah.
The point is to walk away from the gym feeling accomplished. Like you checked the box, you got something done, and you got that stimulation because it is stimulating. That's what you're going for when you train on during those times. It's just to counteract the mental stuff you're going through.
Well, I went to I think it was yesterday. I went to the gym and I said I wasn't programmed. I'm going to do some back squats, so I loaded up and like 500. For me, that's a walk in the park, not a big deal.
Yeah.
I got to 405, felt really good and happy.
Yeah.
Loaded up my 500, stepped out and said, nope, didn't do it.
Yeah.
At first, typically that would upset me.
Yeah.
But Amanda was watching me and she said, I think I can't remember exactly what you said, but something like, now was not the time. That wasn't the goal.
Yeah.
The goal was to feel good.
Yeah.
And in doing that 400 and then rack it and saying no to the 5, she's like, I think mental health, that was what you needed to do. I was like, yeah, that wasn't the point of the day. It was to move.
Yeah.
And then I said, go do some curls.
Yeah, some of the corner doing curls and no one can see me.
with like 15-pound dumbbells.
Well, I didn't go that far.
Yeah.
I was curling squat rack.
So those are big things. Spending as much time walking outside as you can. Like you can't walk too much outside in the sunlight or in the cold, by the way.
Yeah.
Cold and sunlight both have the same dopamine signaling effect.
AC.
Both help your circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
If it's cloudy and it's cold, just as beneficial. Like just as beneficial as if it's sunny and warm. Still go out there. If it's raining, go out there anyway. If you can't, go put on your rain gear.
Yeah.
Both.
We went on a really long hike, which seemed to help.
We went hiking in the hills. And also the thing we did too, one night, we cranked the AC up more than average.
Yeah. Yeah. That helps.
We turned it way down because
and I was like,
it just made it more comfortable.
So that's a little cheap trick that you can do to make your body be a little colder during the day. That'll help.
Yeah.
It's little things like that. Like, I can't afford AC all the time like that. Well, fine.
It's a week.
You'll be fine.
It's a week. It's going to be like $20. It's okay.
You'll be okay.
Yeah. And the other thing that I do like too is just even like evening, red light. If you have a red light device, turn it on. It doesn't have to. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like in your eyes or anything. It just has to be ambient in the room. That's a big part of it. Is just have it ambient in the room the last hour or so that you're planning to, before you go to bed. That could be beneficial. And like those are the main key players, I guess, as far as what I've used with people to help them in the past. Again, presuming the other things are dialed in, but like that outside exposure, red light therapy, any of those are going to be they're just big key players. And if you have access to a cold plunge, especially first thing in the morning, and the final thing is vagus nerve stimulation. Vagus nerve stimulation will help make you feel like everything's all right now. Everything's okay. And you can't do it too many times in the day. It's not like, I did it morning and evening, and now your sleep pattern's going to be disrupted if you do it in the middle of the day or right before bed. It's not like that for most people. And I don't recommend most of the vagus nerve stimulation devices out there. Because you're it's promoting a bunch of EMF signaling into the brain because they're usually on the.
I've seen a bunch that it wraps around your neck and like.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure that they do stimulate it, but they're providing other inputs, and I don't recommend you do that.
Yeah.
Especially when all you need is something cold. So like, get an ice pack. There's two main ways that I really like. You just get small ice packs and you put them on your carotid artery, especially the left side because that's the blood supply side of the brain, but it also can help to have it on the right side. I do both. And you can also take cold spoons and put them on your eyes. So for the carotid artery treatment, it's about 5 minutes. On the eyes, you usually don't need it for more than like a minute. It's pretty fast. Just throw a couple spoons in the freezer. You can keep them in there. And when you want that stimulation, and by the way, when you do this, it should be in an environment where there's not a bunch of noise and input. So like if you need, go find a quiet room, go outside where there's just not stuff going on. Don't do it while you're stressed out watching your wife cook and then try to like close your eyes. And that's probably not going to work.
Yeah.
So go to a quiet place, and I actually combine it with 852 kilohertz noise sometimes, which is just sort of a calming sound, and it sounds woo-woo and all that kind of stuff. It does promote. In fact, that's the frequency that old church bells used to be, because it promoted a calming effect on the town. They didn't know.
Let's go to church.
Yeah, or that. But typically, you're not going to run into 852 hertz. It's not even. It's not like. It's not in Western music. It's not a note in Western music. It's actually falls outside of our normal music scale. So. But you could, if you like, go on Spotify or you can go on YouTube, listen to it, have it play on your phone while you do this. This is literally what I do at the end of the day because my business responsibilities are typically very intense and stressful. So helping me to come off of, all right, like I've been running around doing a lot of things during the day, and to just reset, and so I can go and be with my family and try to leave some of that stuff aside. is I'll play 852 hertz. I will, do the vagus nerve stimulation. I do that for 5 minutes, and everything gets a little better. I go walk around outside for a few minutes, and I can come in and see my family, and everything's, feels like, oh, okay, it's better. I guess I'll add one more thing that can help some people is journaling, particularly at the end of the day. I think some people overthink what journaling is. It's a brain dump. What did I do today?
I was about to say that. Yeah, exactly.
Just write down what you remember about the day. I did this. I accomplished that. This sucked. This went well. This went poorly. I don't want to do that again. I want to do this again. Like whatever it is. And what I like to do at the end of a journal is say how good the day was. And I'll usually say it was a good day or it was a bad day or it was a rough day, it was a hard day, whatever it was. Just write all that stuff down. It was a good day. And what you want to be able to do, whatever happened that day, is say it was a good day. And that's how you frame all the things you just said. You can write down a whole bunch of things that kind of sucked. This didn't go my way. This didn't go the way I wanted it to. This was tough. This was whatever. But I got through it, so that made it a good day. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. It was a hard day, but it was a good day because you need to focus on the accomplishment, not how the day made you feel. When you summarize your day, it's not about how you felt during the day. It was a good day if you accomplished what your goals were. That's what makes it a good day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even if it's hard.
Yeah, even if it was hard. That doesn't make it a bad day. Like, cool, it was a hard day. I got through it. And especially if you're trying to, just surviving off of, detoxing from a drug. I did this. I got through it. This was horrible. This was horrible. This was horrible. I got through it. It was a good day.
Absolutely.
And that's where you want to. That's where you want to go to end. Finish the journal, vagus nerve stimulation, go for a walk. Okay, things are going to be okay. Doesn't mean you're going to walk inside, especially if you're coming off an SSRI. You're still going to be overstimulated. You're still going to struggle. But you can start after that, things feeling a little better. It can help you with your sleep as well. Grab the ice packs, go lie in bed, do it. Put them on your nightstand, let them sit for the night. And just all these things can help promote. But like Anthony said, it's not going to be easy. It can't be. Nothing's going to make it easy. Especially if you're someone that has a typical reaction of just overstimulation. It's like just being cranked up all the time. Mm-hmm. It's going to be hard. But do you want to be dependent on this? Do you want to have your mind numbed? Do you want to have your hormones messed with? Do you want to struggle with probably weight gain and other behaviors like that? Probably not.
You have to be very future focused when doing this and when going into a week where you're dropping down a dose, because the immediate is going to suck.
Yeah.
So you have to look toward the delayed gratification, which is not something, and as modern day Americans, that we're very good at, but that's what you got to do.
You do. Yeah. So bad at it. Yeah. You have to frame it all in terms of I'm doing this for something greater, for a greater reason.
Exactly.
And I don't want to compare my experience to being on an SSRI because it's not, I've never taken one or anything like that. But one of the things...
I don't recommend it, by the way, just saying.
Say what?
I don't recommend it just if anyone's wondering.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 do not recommend.
Yeah.
But I will say this about my experience, which, I want to do a follow-up on this, by the way, once you're totally off for a while. And your TRT's dialed in and you're getting the full benefit and things are rocking and rolling several months from now, whenever that is. Because I'm curious if your experience mirrors mine, but potentially in a magnified way. Before testosterone replacement, I was always numb emotionally. And one of the things about low testosterone for men can be that you just don't experience emotions very much. You just are kind of numb because you don't have that hormonal signaling that allows you to experience certain things. And I suspect I, like you, probably was fairly low for a long time and just didn't know it. And a lot of experiences you go through in life, I look back and I'm like, wow, that would have felt very differently for me. Like like I went my entire adult life without crying until testosterone, for good reasons, for happy crying or sad crying, because I didn't experience happiness like hardly at all. Like
watch the Ninja Turtles.
I didn't grow up watching them, so I don't know if it'd have the same mental effect as honestly.
It's recommended.
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
I might give it a try. Maybe I'll watch it tonight with my family. But what I will say is, and I've been on testosterone.
You just had a mental image of him bawling.
Yeah,
well, so good, Raph.
But just being on testosterone has allowed me to experience things in my marriage. It's made me a better husband. It's easier for me to be present. It's easier for me to be sympathetic and to understand what people around me are feeling. It's go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think the if I really be honest, the Ninja Turtle thing, actually, I may have made a joke about it, but I think actually what you said about why did I cry during the Ninja Turtles? Actually, I think there's actually a very solid reason. I was watching with my son, and so I was, like you said earlier, you're tuned down to normal good experiences.
Yeah.
Here I am. I'm getting sensory, and my son's enjoying a show that I watched as a kid, and I'm like, this should be a beautiful, fun moment. And now for the first time, like, I'm enjoying this how I'm supposed to be enjoying this.
Yeah.
Now, normally would you be crying watching a show that no, of course not. But you're overstimulated with the emotions, with the high emotions. So what normally would have been that's a sweet moment, on SSRIs, they become I don't care, I'm not paying attention anyways.
Yeah.
To getting off and going, whoa,
yeah,
that's beautiful. This is fun. I'm enjoying him. I love him so much. That's really what it is.
And the question I ask myself is, how many experiences like that did I miss out on over the years? Because I'll give you a good example of talking to other men who have experienced like the birth of their children. We have 4 kids. Every birth meant nothing to me emotionally. I felt nothing, like literally felt nothing other than like, yeah, I love this child, that kind of thing. But like that birth moment and holding them for the first time, like I caught all of our kids, and like it didn't change anything emotionally other than like that was a neat experience, but it didn't register emotionally.
I can see that.
And like in the even things like you mentioned watching a movie, like movies that I used to feel like nothing, and like I think like several months into testosterone, I watched Gladiator for like the first time.
That's well.
Yeah, and I
think there's studies that show that Gladiator actually raises testosterone every time you watch it.
Probably.
I don't know how scientific it is, but I believe that there's studies that show when every time a man puts on Gladiator or Tombstone, his testosterone raises by a certain percentage. Could be.
Tombstone doesn't make me cry though.
But it makes your T go up.
Yeah, but it does. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But like, watching and just being like, it hits so hard. Mm-hmm. And the experiences like that like you just don't know what you missed out on. And I imagine it's the same thing when you're on an SSRI. Like, what are you missing out on? Like, you don't even know. And like things that you could experience with your children that you're never going to get back because they grow up, it's finite. Memories with your spouse that like could be totally reframed and experienced radically differently.
Yep. You ain't wrong.
Yeah. So anybody that's on them, I want to say, and Anthony, let you say your thing too, is like, consider coming off. Wonder, because you might be missing out on experiencing certain things with your family, with your friends, and just even for yourself, like that you're supposed to feel, that God created those emotions, and numbing them is not generally going to be the right answer.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you wanted to add?
No, just some of what you said is absolutely true. I guess the last thing is I'll summarize is it's going to be rough, which I've already said. And also It's not your fault. For the people, if anyone's listening to this and they're currently debating what to do and they're thinking about getting off, tell someone, tell your family. If your family is good, which I would assume that if you're a Christian family, your spouse will understand it. If you decide to do this on your own without your family's support, it's going to get rougher.
Yeah.
You're going to need your family to understand before you do it. And you need to tell yourself you are not this bad person that you will think you are when you do it. And you should not be embarrassed that you're on something that you were not told. If you were in my store and you were not told the side effects, you are a victim of something, and you have nothing to be ashamed about.
Yeah.
You could be angry about it. That is a healthy emotion. You could be angry at the system that did it to you.
Yeah.
That's a healthy emotion. It is not healthy to say, I'm bad. It's my fault. I want no one to know that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It's not shameful. You didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know. And if you did know, still not shameful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even if you did know, you're here now.
Right. There's no point in that.
Yeah.
There's no point in that. And that's what I think whenever people don't want to talk about it. I'm always thinking, you're never going to get help if you don't talk about it. You're not going to that's just not, that's the
a real
worst.
good way to just stay stuck where you are forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just not. You can't. You're going to be, when you're detoxing, you're going to be embarrassed and ashamed. And it's a lie. It's a lie.
Yeah.
Spiritual lie, physical lie, a lie.
Yeah.
And don't believe it and just deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. To anyone out there who's listening, maybe you're on an antidepressant, talk to your doctor about it. If your doctor is unsupportive, go talk to a different doctor and get another opinion. Just go talk to a different doctor, talk to your spouse about it, talk to your closest friends about it, and tell them what you're doing and what you want to do, and get support. Like make sure everybody knows, because you might behave in ways towards those people that they might not understand otherwise too.
Exactly.
Just part of it. And they might just be like, oh yeah, you
will behave in certain ways, and they need to be ready for it.
Yeah. And that way,
you will.
That way
okay.
You're giving them the opportunity to not only help you, but also be understanding towards you. Instead of blindsided by your uncharacteristically terrible behavior potentially.
Correct.
And go get your hormones checked too, because it's more likely that you have a hormonal issue than anything else. That was probably what started the whole thing. It was just never assessed, never checked. Go find a doctor that'll help you.
If it wasn't present before, it may be now.
That's
because of the
That's the other
SSRIs.
thing too. They often do cause low testosterone in men and women. And it just makes it's an endless cycle, and you have to take more because you have to be more numb.
Right.
And then you're just on a roller coaster at this point. You're
just like alcohol. When people drink, when people drink with alcohol,
building up a tolerance.
You build up a tolerance. You have to keep going. That will happen. Like no one gets on 10 and goes, "Oh, I'm good now." No, you will keep going because you will.
Yeah.
Your body is going to get intolerant to it.
And often other ones are added too. You're on one and you get up to a certain dose, and then another one's added as well. And the cycle can just go on and on. You can have
your antidepressant's not working. Here's another pill.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And that is often what does happen. So if anyone is out there and wants potential help with this too, dialing other lifestyle things, or just knowing what to do to make this as easy of a transition as possible, it's still going to be rough, or just help assessing your hormones and things like that. We do know what we're looking at too. Feel free to reach out to us. Obviously, there's the Facebook page, High Calling Fitness, but also highcallingfitness.com. Book a meeting with one of us if this is something you're interested in trying. We have helped a lot of people come off of SSRIs, and you will get the support that you need, including advice like this on the podcast. But otherwise, go talk to your doctor, talk to your spouse, talk to your friends, and figure out what that might look like. It's not going to be an overnight journey. It may take months or even like a year. It can be a very, very long time. That's okay. Just know what it is and what you might be in for. And anything to add to that, Anthony?
Sounds good to me. I think we covered it.
Cool. Well, awesome. Well, thanks everyone for listening. If you have any questions, reach out to us. And until then, gains and grace.
Gains and grace.
Gains and grace. I'm about to say it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did good.